Good afternoon and happy Thursday. It is time for another week of Caitlin's Music City Skinny. And hopefully today will not be hijacked by Astro like it was last week. Bless his heart, he just decided that it was supposed to be toy time in the middle of Caitlin's Music City Skinny. So hopefully that will not be the case today, but I'm really excited about today's topic. This is something that I've been coming across more and more, and so it's just something that I feel like people need to know about. Because one of the biggest things that I believe in when it comes to buying and selling is going to be education. I believe the more that you can educate yourself and the more knowledge you have about the process ahead of you, the better and smarter decisions you can make. And I always give this analogy, and I probably said it before, but I always compare it to sitting on an airplane. And what I mean by that is if you are getting ready to fly somewhere and you get on the airplane and you sit and you sit and you sit and you sit and you're wondering what's going on, what's the captain doing, why are we sitting here, you get really frustrated with the process. But if you get on the plane and you're sitting and sitting and sitting, and then the pilot communicates with you what's going on and helps frame your expectations, you can typically handle the situation a lot better. So the same goes for home buying. So when it comes to buying, the more you can educate yourself and really set up your expectations in the beginning, the better off you're going to be. So today we're going to be talking about 3 hacks when it comes to home shopping. And so the first one is going to be have a home buying consultation with a realtor. Whether this is your first house or your third or your fourth house, it's always really, really great to have this home buying consultation. And the reason for that is because it's going to get you and your realtor on the same page so that you have the same goals in mind ultimately. So, here's the thing. In Nashville, there are thousands of realtors. And basically, you can walk down the street and run into 3 of them, right? So the other thing about the home buying consultation is it's going to let you know whether you and your realtor are a fit. You want somebody whose process is aligned with the way that you see it going. So with that home buying consultation, it's going to go ahead from the very get-go and get you guys on the same page so that you know what you're looking for. Ultimately, a home buying consultation is going to ensure a smoother transaction. You can discuss your fears, you can discuss the things that you're looking for, you can discuss what your ultimate goals are, and so that way that you both walk into the process knowing that you're on the same page. So number 2, you're going to want to prepare for the process 3 to 6 months in advance before you're actually ready to buy. And if you're self-employed, I would suggest you starting the process even sooner, just because the pre-approval process is a little bit more intricate than if you're on a W-2. So again, prepare ahead of time. And this goes back to, I just believe when you prepare yourself with knowledge and you know what to expect, it's just going to set you up better for success in the long term. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go ahead and connect with the agent. And I know it can feel really scary at times to be like, well, if I reach out to an agent, they're going to push me to buy a home now and I'm just not ready. And that is not the case at all. Because here, especially in the Nashville market, certain price points, homes move really, really quickly. So the more you set yourself up on the front end, when you are ready to go, your realtor can go ahead, if they know that you're going to be ready in about a month, they can go ahead and start putting feelers out in your desired neighborhoods to see if you can get into listings before they even hit the market. Because again, there are certain markets here in Nashville that I've even seen this winter where if you're trying to get into it, if you don't make an offer that first day, it's gone. So you really need to be able to start the process, get your pre-approval in order, and really get your hands on as many resources, free resources as possible. So things that I offer are going to be a free first-time homebuyer boot camp. So that's going to go ahead and give you an idea of what you can expect so you can start to adjust your expectations and start to really know what the process is going to look like for you. I also will be doing throughout the next several months, I'm going to be doing free home buyer boot camps, just so if you're a first time buyer and you're kind of wondering, okay, I want to do this, but your only real thing to gauge the idea of the home buying process off of is HGTV's House Hunters, I'm going to help set you kind of on the right path, because while I love House Hunters and it is one of my favorite shows, the actual home buying process is a lot different than what House Hunter shows it to be. There's a lot more to it than going, seeing 3 houses, picking one, and then magically you're closed on your home. There's a lot more that goes into it. So again, those home buyer boot camps that I'm holding are going to be a really great resource for you just to even get an idea of what it is to look for. And I also, you can always head over to my Instagram. I do a lot of video content on there and it's all free for you. But again, my goal is always just to educate buyers and sellers as much as possible so that when you are ready to make a move, you have a much better understanding, because real estate is a massive investment. Most of the times it's your biggest, most valuable asset, and you don't want to walk into it lightly, and you don't want to walk into it uneducated. So I love to just be able to put as much content out there as possible for free so that you can get your hands on whatever it is that you need. And that brings me to house hunting hack number 3, which is going to be pick a preferred lender. So this is why I always say start with the home buying consultation, because your realtor, whether it's me or whether it's somebody else, is going to be able to give you a list of preferred lenders. And most of the time that list is going to be people that they've actually worked with and they trust and know they can get the job done. The last thing you want is to get with a lender when you get under contract and then they can't close the loan, or they end up having to delay the loan. And I can tell you this from personal experience. When I bought my first home, I didn't get any recommendations. I just decided, okay, I'm just going to go pick somebody, and I did. And the closing, thankfully we closed on the correct day, but that lender was having to chase his tail to get the job done, and it was a complete disaster. And I mean, even my insurance agent was like, girl, if you ever, need to refinance or go, buy another home, never use him again. So you're going to want to get preferred lender recommendations from people that can say, hey, I know that these people can do their job. This is my experience with them. That way you can just feel a lot more confident in the decision that you ultimately make when it comes to finding a lender, because you want the person who's going to communicate with you throughout the process and who's going to be able to close that loan on time. So there you have it, my 3 house hunting hacks. So you're going to want to do a home buyer consultation. You're going to want to prepare for the process 3 to 6 months in advance. Get your hands on as many free resources as possible. And then number 3 is you're going to want to find that preferred lender. And again, with the lender, you don't necessarily have to just go with the first name you get. If they give you a list of 3 or 4, which is typically what I do, you can go through the list and find out, again, who works best with you. The best thing about real estate is there are options, which you can say, okay, it feels like too many options, but ultimately you really want to put the right team in place around you, from your realtor to your lender to your entire team. When it comes to your homeowner's insurance, everything, you really want to put the right team into place so that it makes the process as smooth and enjoyable as possible, because house hunting is supposed to be fun and you're supposed to want to enjoy the process. But if there's a bad apple in the mix, sometimes it can kind of derail the process, and that is the last thing that I would want for you. So again, those are my 3 hacks. If you want any of my free guides, please feel free to shoot me a message. I would be happy to get them over to you as soon as possible. Thank you for tuning in to another week of Caitlin's Music City Skinny. We have made it through without Astro interrupting us, which is great. But be sure to tune in next week, and I hope to see you there.